afternoon. For those of you who don't know, my name is Maya Karen. I run a fashion blog called Classically Kept. It does feature luxury, contemporary, and how to style, and now natural hair care. So if you are into any of those things, please consider subscribing to my channel and clicking the notification bell. That way you will never miss a video. So into today's video, we are going to be doing some trimming. I am going to trim my ends. Let me kind of give you a brief description of what we have going on, because I have a couple of different things going on with my hair. So for those of you who don't know, and I will put the videos that I'm referring to down below in the description box. I straighten my hair every single year. Typically it is around my birthday, but one of my friends got married and she requested either like naturally out hair or like straight with curls hair. So I straightened my hair November 16th. It is December 13th, so we almost made it to a month, but let me explain to you why I'm not going to be able to make it. So like right here, I don't know if you can see, but this is nothing but curls. Like if I were to lift this up here, like my entire scalp is nothing but curls. Like my roots, I would say my roots lasted a day, if that. One of the very first places that I sweat is my scalp. So I think like the day after her wedding or like that night, I was sweating for whatever reason, and just my roots, especially right here where you can see this puff. Like I said, this is nothing but curls. It's poofy. And I would say this is probably a good 2 inches just like that. Then last week on Wednesday, I had one of the worst days at work that I could ever have. For whatever reason, all of my problem claims decided to call me that day and cuss me out and just let me have it. David saw that, so when I got off work, he kind of set up like a spa evening for me. He put like all of my stuff in there for a bath, and then after that, he gave me a foot massage. My smart self, because my hair was still straight at the time, or it was still somewhat look straight, like I could still curl it and it would still look okay. My smart self decided to put my hair up with clips, and I decided to put on a silk scarf so my hair wouldn't get wet. But not only did I do that, I also put on a shower cap. Of course, my scalp started sweating. Like I said, that's the first place that I sweat, but I didn't really care because like I said earlier, the rest of my scalp has been curly for 3 weeks now. What I did not know is that I had created a greenhouse effect and my ends actually started curling. So curling back to its natural state. So when I got out of the shower, when I got out of the bathtub, half of my ends were curly and half of my ends were naturally curly, and then half of my ends still had like the straight look, but they were still curly from the foam rollers that I have been using. So to alleviate all of that and to get a very good trim before I just go back curly, because I'm actually quite tired of this now, I just kind of like blow dried my ends, because and the reason why I didn't leave it the way it is because in order to make sure that I get a great cut or a great trim, especially since I only straighten my hair once a year, is I had to re-straighten out my ends. They don't have to be bone straight to have a good cut, but they have to be even. And you can even see right here, right now, where my ends need to be cut. So we are going to get in depth. I'm going to show you how I trim my ends. I'm going to show you all the way from the back to the front, okay? So a couple of things that you will need. Go ahead and sit back down. You will need a white tooth comb. You will need a rat tail comb. You will need clips. As you see, I do have 4 in my head, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You might need an extra one. And then also, if you have not seen my other video, if you have not seen any of my other hair videos, make sure you are using the proper tools. In order to efficiently trim your ends, you need shears. Stop using those regular scissors that you get from Walmart and the dollar store with like that black handle and that orange handle. Those are not shears, they are scissors. The reason why I'm saying that is also because make sure that when you're using these shears that you are only using them for your hair. When your kids ask you for a pair of scissors, give them the house scissors. Do not give them the shears, because what happens is that they will get dull, and then when you are actually trimming your ends with a dull blade, it's actually going to split your hair even more. And then it's going to start going up your hair shaft, and you're going to have to cut off even more, okay? The other thing that you are going to need is going to be a white sheet of paper, or you are going to need a white shirt. Because I am trimming my own ends, I have on a white shirt. I will take off this duster and we will be using the white shirt to show where my ends need to be cut. Another thing, people, when it comes to trims, there is a difference between a trim and a cut. But if you saw my takeaways and my goals for 2022, my goal for 2022 is to have healthy, intact ends, and then I want the actual, when my hair is blow dried, I want it to stop right at the top of my booty. So in order for me to do that, I need to trim my ends. But also what you're going to see, I'm going to show you an actual point with a red line or some type of line showing you where I need to cut. I am going to cut a little bit above that just to make sure that I get all of the ends, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so a couple of things. Let me go ahead and bring my hair forward just to show you a couple of things. So let me comb this out and show you what I'm talking about. So when we start talking about trimming ends, you always want to trim the ends that you can see through or where it's getting very thin. So if I comb this all evenly, you can begin to see where I need to cut, okay? You can see that I need to cut about right here, okay? It's the exact same thing with this side. You can see where I need to cut. I need to cut like right here, okay? Let me also show you from the side because you can see it from the side. Not so much this, I can see it because I do this all the time. It's about right here. Okay, so if I turn it on this side, you can see right there where it needs to be cut. It's like right there where you can start to see through my ends. Okay? And then let's see if I can get a back, which you should be able to see. It's going to be probably like somewhere about right here where I need to cut. Okay? And then the other thing, what some people do, what some hairdressers do, or what some people do for a quick cut is they do exactly this. They comb it, they make sure it's even, and then right where it gets thin, they just chop it off. That's fine, but I want to make sure that I'm getting a precision cut. So we are going to start from the back and we're going to go all the way up. And then we're gonna do this side. We're gonna use this side as a guide for this side because y'all know that my permanent part is on the side. It's not in the middle of my forehead. So this side is going to be a little bit uneven naturally, okay? So the other thing I want to make sure that I explain is that when you start talking about trimming your own ends, you need to make sure that you're doing it in not necessarily in a correct way, but you need to make sure that you're doing it so that when you throw your hair back, what you don't want to happen is you don't want your sides and then this right here to actually be longer than the back, okay? I mean, if you're into that, you can do that, but that's not how most people want their hair to look. So what you do is you actually take a piece of hair. You're not going to pull it out like this. You're actually going to pull it front ways, like this. So that way when you cut it, it's going to lay the exact same way as to when you put your hair back, okay? And I'll show you what I mean once we get into it, okay? So we're just gonna take the back of our hair like right here. We have the back of our hair right here. I'm going to take this side. Again, make sure you're bringing it to the front. I'm going to take my comb, and you can, I can see where it needs to be cut. I've been doing this for a very long time, okay? So again, just make sure that it's facing this way. So where you can begin to see my ends, I would say is about right here. Okay, so we're going to be cutting off that much. And we're just going to go straight across, literally. We're just going to take our finger right here, use it as a guide, and then you're just going to cut straight across like this. And it's gone. And let me move my rug. Okay, so we have cut that, and we are going to use that for a guide for this side. about right here where it needs to be cut. Again, just taking it straight, cutting it right there. Also, be careful when you're using your hand as a guide. Shears are very sharp, okay? I have cut my knuckle trimming my ends. So, we're using this as a guide. You can see this side is a tad bit longer. Have that much. We're gonna cut. All right. Still a tad bit longer. Gonna cut. All right. And we are going to do this over our entire, there we go. All over our head. Okay. We are even. So we're also going to use this as a guide for the rest of our hair. Okay. Again, we're just gonna take a section, and even in my ponytail, you can see what needs to be cut. You see that right there? You can see that it needs to be cut. All right. Right here. Okay, now, because we are not quite in the back of our head, let me see if you can see right here, we're going to pull this section just to the side, and we're gonna cut it just like that. So you need to use a mirror to the side, and I can see where this needs to be cut. So let me lay this down for you so you can see. Where it needs to be cut, like right here. So I'm gonna take it where it needs to be cut. Again, we can use some of this as a guide, and that's about right where it needs to be cut. Right there. Again, straight across. Just like that. Exact same thing for this side. Using this as a guide. Again, we're gonna put this out. You see that right there? That needs to be cut. Again, using this as a guide, cutting to about right there. Oh, that needs to be cut. It's gone. All right. That looks so much better. Okay? Can't see through our ends. So let's continue. And I can just tell by how much I'm cutting off on the bottom that I'm going to be cutting off a lot more. Not too much, but a lot more in the front. My front grows way faster than my back. So now, because we're getting into the wider section of our hair, I'm going to do this in 3 parts, okay? So I'm going to do a section here, and then one in the middle. So let's do this section, and we'll put this section up. Okay, let's bring this portion up for our guide. Now, one of the things that I have come to terms with is that when we start getting upwards into my hair, this is more than likely, well, no, it's gonna be a trim. It might seem like it's a cut, but again, remember I told y'all that I only trimmed my hair once. So I'm actually having to cut off more hair than I should have had I have done trims regularly, okay? So we did reach our goal. I did reach lower back, but it has to go. My ends are, they're not terrible, but again, like I said, in 2022, what are we going for? Healthy ends. I want my ends blunt, straight, strong, and thick to my booty. So in order for us to get there, we have to prepare. We have to make sure that we prepare our ends. We have to make sure that we are sticking to our regimen. Consistency is key, okay? So this is our guide. I can see where it needs to be cut. It's about right here. We're going to use our guide right here. And this is all coming off. And really, you can see through it, so it needs to go anyway, okay? So make sure your hands are straight, and we're gonna chop it off. All right. Now, we're going to take this down. And before we do the middle, let's do the side. So let's bring this over here. Let's do the side. And I'm going to take literally the middle of my head right here, and I'm just gonna pull this up and come right here and clip it. Okay? So now we have the side. Okay? We're going to use this as a guide, but again, we also want to make sure that, we're getting the ends that we need to get. And I can see, I don't know if you can see, but if you see right here, it needs to be trimmed about right there. We're gonna go up here to make sure we get everything, okay? We're going to use this as a guide, so we're gonna be stopping at about right here. And we're gonna cut. Remember to keep it straight and remember to watch out for your knuckles. All right? Get that little piece right there. All right? How are we looking? We're looking good. We have no see-through ends. That's what I want, all right? Now, let's pull these to the front. And let's take this little section right here. This is our middle section, remember? Now, for the middle, this is what I do when we start talking about the middle. I bring it up. I bring it up, and I do it this way. Now, what I'm gonna do with this is, let me start out. You can see where it needs to be cut. It's about right there. So what I'm going to do, just to get a gauge, is I'm actually going to cut first the actual shortest hair that I can see. So let me do it this way first. And then I'm going to take this again, put this here, and I'm just, the strands that we just cut, I'm literally just going to split them in half, okay? And we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to use this as a guide, and we're gonna cut. Okay, and here is the other piece. We're gonna comb it down. Right here. All right. Looking good. Okay. Looking good. All right. Now, pull this up some. No, put it right there. Okay. We are almost done with the back. Let's go ahead and get another layer. And I think this is going to be more of like, I guess I can call this a trim, but I just know that my hair is probably going to look significantly shorter than what it did before, but it's fine. I was, initially when I started trimming my own ends, I was scared of like losing length and things like that. But I'm not scared anymore. You know, if I'm going to preach to you guys about being thankful for what I have, you know, being blessed for what I have, I can't be scared myself. You know, I can't preach to y'all and not walk the walk. So if I truly want my ends, to be intact, if I truly want that, you know, sharp line right on top of my booty come December 2022, I have to work for it. I have to be consistent. I don't ever want my videos to come across fake. I don't ever want it to come across as me boasting. I just want them to be genuine. I will never consider myself a hair guru. I just want to share the information and my experiences with you guys, okay? So, again, since we are at one of the widest parts of our head, again, we're gonna do it in 3 sections. So, we're gonna do it here, here, and here. So, let's take this section and let's put this up. And somebody in one of my comments in my videos talked about using colored or different color hair clips, and it didn't dawn on me, but the reason why I do that is to keep track of which clips I'm using. I know for me, if I were to use all purple clips or all pink clips, I would be pulling at hairs or pulling at sections that I don't need to be working with yet, okay? So, let's pull this forward. And that's actually another sign of whether or not your ends need to be trimmed. When it comes to detangling and when it comes to combing your hair, number one, if your detangling process, which I mean, don't get me wrong, as far as a natural is concerned, the bane of our existence is detangling. But if it's taking gobs and gobs of time for you to detangle your hair, it's time for a trim. The other thing is that if you're just simply combing your hair and there are snags and snarls, it's time for a trim as well. You know, there are other signs, but those are typically the tall tale signs that it's time for a trim. Now, I will say that I am a little, not upset, but I'm a little sad because I am going to have to, you know, get rid of, you know, this length, you know, when here literally is my hip bone. But there are different sections of my hair grow at different rates. So from right here to right here, it grows slower, and then right here grows, and then the front of my hair grows the fastest. So sometimes when I'm trimming my ends, I actually have to cut at the shortest part when it comes to it. And that was the point that I set up in the beginning of the video. So like I said, I'm just gonna cut it, I'm going to embrace it, and I'm gonna let it be. So for this right here, it's not as bad as the back, but I can still see probably starting about right here where it needs to be cut. So that's actually quite accurate. So again, pull down, All right, we're right at our point. Pull up, all of that's getting ready to go, and just go straight across. Okay? And it's in line with everything else. All right? So, we used the glue clip for this. So now we're going to take the left side, your right side. I'm going to pull this forward. And just standing here already with my ends looking like this, my hair looks so much healthier. So I'm not as anxious as I'm cutting my hair and just seeing how beautiful my ends look when how they're supposed to be intact, strong, healthy, and full. At this point, it might be a little bit of an obsession, but it's all right. So again, I can see where it needs to be cut. You might not be able to see it. And during the video, I will be just giving you lines because you might not be able to see it. I can see it. It's at about right here. So that's actually pretty, yeah, that's actually pretty accurate. So we have our line about right here, up, and look, you can see through all of that. So it just needs to go. And for those of you who are scared, or for those of you who are picking up on my nonchalant demeanor as far as my ends are concerned, it took a couple of years for me to get here. Like I said, when I first went natural, especially when my hair was growing, I did not want to get my ends trimmed for anything, nothing. I wanted to walk around with straggly ends. So it is going to take you some time, okay? So now we are in the middle of our hair. Again, we're going to comb it up and we're going to comb it over. So you can see all of that needs to go, right? But we're going to go, since we're taking it this way, just to even it out, from this way, we're going to go from the shortest strand, which is right here, and then we're going to cut that little piece right there and right there. So we're just going to take it back up, and then we're going to split it, okay? And it should line up, or it's going to be a little bit longer. So now we're just going to comb it this way. Right here is our point, and we're gonna cut, and all that needs to go anyway. Again, keep your hands straight, just like that. And it falls right in, okay? Right there, you see that? Let's go ahead and cut that. Okay. Yeah, so so let me pull this up some. So we have, let's see, it's like right here to right here. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to take this side right here and work with this side. Make sure I bring some hair forward. Okay. Again, I can see what needs to go. It's like right there. So I guess my hair split evenly. And then let me pull this down some. Right there. Yep. This is what's going right here. You can see, here's my shirt, you can see through that. And at the end, I will show you my split ends on the bathroom floor. So remember, keep it straight. And there we go. me get this little straggly piece right here. Well, let me pull it over here before I cut myself. All right. It is a little longer, you can see that. So simply what you do, and I'm going to do this in the mirror, so I'm not like, I can't do it that way. So cut, 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 cut. All right, we're back. And I see a little piece right there. And of course, we'll go back and look just to make sure. So let's bring this side forward. Okay, so I'm going to leave this middle section right here, and we're going to work with this section. Excuse me. All right. My detangling process, oh my word, should be seamless at this point. Okay, so that's about right. Right there. All of this is going right here. Keep your fingers straight and cut right across. All right. The last section of the back, and then we can move on to the front. So again, with the middle, we want to comb up and then comb over. So remember what I said, you're actually going to cut this part, and you can see really everything that needs to be cut. You're going to cut this at the shortest strands that you can start to see where you can see, or where you can see through. So the shortest strand is about right there. There you go. Cut. All right. And then we're just going to remember up and to the side. Okay, and of course the hair right here is going to be shorter than right here or right here. You just want to make sure that it blends in, and it does. Right here. Now I did see some scragglies on this side, so all right, so as far as the back is concerned, we are done. And I already know that the front, we're gonna be cutting some off. Now, the only other thing that I will say as far as the back is concerned, it might be a little uneven simply because my hair is poofy. That's fine. I don't wear my hair straight enough for me to care about, I guess, it being even all the time. And what I mean by that is whenever my hair is in twists and I see one, I didn't really do it this year. That's, the reason why I'm having to cut off a lot. But when I was doing it, if I see like a straggly or a scraggly twist, I'll chop it. But I might not necessarily chop my entire head. Like if I just see one day when I'm retwisting or when I'm re-moisturizing, I'll take my shears, not my scissors, I'll take my shears and I'll just chop it. I don't measure it, I don't look at the twist next to it. I just chop it off. You know, I'm not talking 2 and 3 inches, maybe like a half of an inch, or maybe like just to where I think it needs to be cut, okay? So I see, and you probably can't see it, I see a couple of little straggly pieces on this side. So you always want to make sure that you just go through, and you can, let me see, can you see them? Those ones right there. We're going to cut those. All right. So that is the back, and you can actually see, first of all, my ends look so much better, and then you can see just my hair, how it's flowing. It flows so much better, okay? So that is the back. We are going to move on to the front. I'm anxious, I'm excited at the same time because it looks like I cut a lot off, but again, let's work our regimen, let's be consistent, and by 2022 in December, my hair should be back, okay? So here it is this side, here it is this side, here it is in the back, and I am satisfied with that. So let's see. We are right here. Here is my waist. So we have about what? 6 inches to go. I think we can get back there. On this side, kind of the exact same thing. Yep. And then in the back, kind of the same thing. It's like right on top of my leggings, so it's like right here. So let me just kind of stand right here. I should probably take a picture of what it looks like. So in 2022, we can kind of do like a little check, a little length check. But yeah, all right, let's move on to the front. Which, like I said, I already know what the situation is in the front, so. Excuse me. Okay, so, and let's just kind of gauge. You can see how far or how much longer it is, okay? All right, so as far as my front is concerned, like I said, it grows a lot faster than my back. And you know, whenever you're talking about the front of your hair, it's more than likely going to be the most intact because that is the easiest point of you to access, or for you to access your hair. This is the part that you're always going to be re-moisturizing, laying your edges, and paying attention to. So it somewhat gets a little bit more TLC than the back. So I already know I'm not going to have to cut off that much in the front, but to even things up. So I would say the back is a trim. I would say the front is a cut because I don't feel as though I need to cut off that much. But to even it out, I am. So again, like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. So if I take my hand and I kind of go down and show like where it starts to thin out, it's like right here of what needs to be cut. That's when it starts to thin out. And then like right here is really where it needs to be cut. So I am going to actually bring just a little bit right here. And you can see the difference of what needs to be cut. So here we go. I'm going to cut it right here first. So right here, remember, take your fingers, make sure it's straight across, and cut. We get the little straggly pieces. Come on. There you go. Okay. A little more. is a little bit longer in the front. And as a matter of fact, I can see it. So let's go ahead and gut it. We'll just have extra fluffy ends or thick ends in the front. All right. So we are done with that side. So we are now going to move on to this side. So I'm just going to take a clip and clip this back portion back. And I am like just a little bit, but no, it's past bra strap. But now we're going to move on to this side. If this is your first time watching my channel, this part right here is a little jacked up right now, but this part is permanent. I don't wear my hair any other way. I don't part it down the middle. I don't part it on this side. I started parting my hair, I would say like this, probably back in 2017. So this is probably like a permanent bald spot, but I just leave it like that. It makes things easier. The reason why I'm telling you that is because it's probably going to look like on this side that my hair is thinner, or that my split ends are long, or they're longer than they should be, or it's going to look like I need to cut off more hair than I do. I don't, and the reason why I cut this side first, because we're going to use this as a guide. I'm still going to go in piece by piece. I'm not just going to comb this out and then chop it off right here. I'm still going to go in piece by piece, but I'm going to use this as a guide because it's still going to look uneven, but we're going to make sure, because the hair that's supposed to, like, so if you part your hair right in the middle, there's like, what is this, like 2 inches of hair that should be over here. But because I lay it over here, it's going to look like that. It's going to look uneven, but we're going to cut, again, like I said, we're still going to go through and make sure that we get the split ends. All right. Again, just make sure you comb down. I mean, just look at that. Like I said, I'm anxious, so if I'm babbling and rambling, don't mind me. Okay, all right. So let's use this side as a guide. Always cut it a little bit lower, and then you can work your way up. So we're cutting all of this right here. You can see through it anyway. It's time to go. Make sure your hand is straight, and you cut. All right. It's a little bit longer on this side. Scraggly piece. All right. Cut off just a little bit more, and then we will be good to go, and then we'll be able to use this side as a guide since we have made our first cut. Okay. All right, let's continue. And you can see where it needs to be cut. You've made yourself a guide. Now, we're not going to cut this entire piece just by itself. We're going to split it up because this takes over half of the front of my head. So we're not just gonna cut this like this. We're gonna do it in half. Okay? And again, you made yourself a guide so you can see what needs to be cut. All of that is getting ready to go. Again, keep your fingers straight and then just go straight across. And there we go. All right. You can see where it needs to be cut. Take your scissors, right there. This needs to be cut, all of that. There we go. And I can see what I need to do just a little bit right there. I need to back up. Okay. Again, remember, this is half of our head, so we're not just going to pull this out and cut it. We want to make sure that we're also keeping with our precision. So we're going to do about half. Flip it that way, and here we go. Let me pull this up some. Make sure you're combing it out to make it even. You can see what needs to be cut right there. All right. You can see what needs to be cut right here. This is, all of that is going, keep it straight. There we go. All right. Our last pieces of old 2021 hair. So again, we're just going to do it half. Let's make that section a little bigger. And this is actually already right here. So we are just going to, because again, remember, we're taking hair that's supposed to be on this side and it's actually on this side. So we're going to have to eye this one. And when we cut it, it will fall right in line. It will blend right in. So I can see where it needs to be cut. It needs to be cut at about right here. So again, keep it straight. And then when we comb it, it blends right in. Okay? The last piece. Again, this one's a little bit longer, so we're gonna pull it down. Needs to be cut right there. It's about that much being cut. All right. All right, so we have trimmed our ends. Like I said, I'm anxious. I'm not nervous. I'm just anxious. I'm excited to just see the growth, you know, within my own hair. Because I will say, I'm looking at it now, and it's pretty, not substantial, but we definitely took some length off. Let me show y'all. So this is how much we cut off. I won't say substantial, but you're definitely gonna notice, you know, you're definitely gonna notice, like when I start doing my twists and things like that, I'm definitely gonna notice, you know, my hairstyles and things like that. But this right here, I would probably say, if we stretch this here, let's stretch this out. I would probably say that that's a good, I would say maybe about a good, anywhere from 5 to 6 inches. So, you know, I'm definitely gonna notice the difference, but I'm excited. All right, you guys, this is it. This is the hair that we are going to be starting 2020 with. Like I said, I'm excited for the journey. Like I always tell you guys, you need to be thankful, feel blessed for what you have, and you will be blessed with more. I don't think my goal for 2022 is unattainable. Again, consistency is key. I will go ahead and make my video because I need to make it a point that when I'm off, I need to make it a point to actually make the products that I'm going to use. That was another thing that I kind of fell behind on. I'm going to show you how to use my Bing Raj mask or my Bing Raj hair scalp massage oil or whatever. Also the video that's coming up, it's like 3 or 5 of you that had requested the head wraps. The only reason why I have not filmed that video is because I actually want to film that video when my hair is back curly to give you an accurate way of how I do that. Because if my hair is straight and I'm showing you how to do these, it's not going to be the same. Okay, so those are the 2 videos that are coming up as far as hair are concerned. But this is it for 2021. We are going to start 2022 with fresh ends, and like I said, you can't see through my ends, and that's how I want to keep it. My hair is shorter, but it's fine. You know, we're in this together. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I do want to remind you that here on YouTube, I do upload videos every Wednesday and Sunday. And then of course, you know, right here, I'll put my Instagram handle. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys. Again, in the comments, put down your hair goals. I know a lot of you also said that you wanted to keep your ends thick and strong, but I will see y'all later. Bye.